What's up, guys? We are doing a backgammon commentary video on a 7-point match that I played last night against our old friend Vassil. You can check that video out on his channel, which is linked on my channel's page, like in the recommended channels or whatever. So, yeah, let's get into it. And I think the way I'm going to approach this today, since it was such a long match, and this is probably going to take a couple of parts until I buy the full version of the software, which I promise I'm doing soon, and then we'll have unlimited time. Um, but since time is still a factor for us, I'm going to start by going over the cubes from all of the games, because I think it's interesting to keep all of those together and talk about the different ideas behind all of the cubing that happened or didn't happen. And then we'll go over the blunders and then go over the smaller stuff depending on the time scenario. And hopefully we'll get all that done in 2 parts. I know the last one took 3 parts, but this was kind of a shorter match, I think. So for going through the cubes, first game it's 0-0. We found ourselves in this position. I'm playing the white checkers here. Vassil's playing the red checkers, so it's kind of backwards. But what are you going to do? As we can see in this position, this is a spot where I doubled him. The way this transpired was he was up on the bar with one guy back. He rolled the 4 deuce, came in. I rolled the 4 and killed. I rolled the 4-1. I was able to come in and also kill him, and then he fanned. So now this is the position as it stands. It's my decision to cube or not. And this is, as we can see, too good to double. And it is only slightly too good to double. Yeah, very slightly too good to double. And when he's taking, it's massively good for us. So maybe this is actually because of Vassil, and we'll see this be a running theme as we talk about the cube. Exploiting Vassil's tendencies is definitely going to show up differently than the computer is going to tell us. There are some spots where, we'll get to them shortly, particularly in the last game, where I think that was kind of the case. But this is slightly too good to cube. Although if your opponent is inclined to be taking, definitely do so because it is massively good for you when they take. As we can see, white has over 70% of win equity here and nearly 45% gammon equity, whereas red has just 28% win equity and only 6% gammon. So there you go. Let's move on. Let's see what we had here for cubes. This is a spot where it should have been a cube on my part. So the match score is currently 1-0 me. We're playing to 7, so still plenty of time left to play. So it's my turn to roll. I'm playing the white pieces again. The pip count is even, but he does have this guy hanging back, and he does have a strong home board, and maybe he'll get some shots down the line. But this is apparently good enough to cube, and not only is it good enough to cube, it's pretty solidly good enough to cube, especially if he might pass. Where it's 57 points better if we double and he takes 57 out of 1,000 points, not out of 100. And if he's a conservative player who might pass this, that's massively good for us. So it is a cube either way. All right, next. This is also a cube. Similar looking position. I'm starting to run out of time. He has this guy back here, and I played the incorrect move here, it turns out. Yeah. The 6-1 should have just been, we'll go over this later after we've talked about all the cubes. The 6-1 should have just been 13-6 by quite a wide margin over what I played. But as for the cube considerations, I'm still only up by 1 in the race. But my position, I do have some kill and covers. I do have some kill and safeties that are going to slow him down. And it's looking like at best he's only going to get 1 shot at an indirect shot. Maybe one. You can maybe expect to get a little more than 1 shot. Whereas he can expect to get killed a lot more often than he can expect to be killing me. So I suppose that is, I'm slightly under 70% to win here, so definitely be pushing the edge there. We move on to the next cube. This one, now that all contact has been resolved, I'm up by 13 pips. I did double, and he should have passed. Vassil playing the red checkers took in this spot. 13, as I said in the commentary video, which I'll put a link to, so people can watch it. 13 is a lot of pips, and furthermore, while I do have some misses, as we can see when I go on to then roll 3-1, that eliminates a lot of my misses because I can just make this 4-point. So those misses look a lot worse than they really are after a lot of rolls. And 13 pips is just too much to be taking with only 60 pips left, 61 to 74 in the pips. So that was a bad take. As we can see the equities here, by not doubling, my expectation is 9/10 of a point. When I take, my expectation is 1.2 stakes or whatever. I may be doing that wrong. I don't know. But that's it's all relative to itself, so I know roughly what that means. All right, we move on to the third game. We have an early situation where after I misplayed this a little bit, I ended up doubling, and what do you know, the goat ended up taking when a pass was much better. Double pass, he loses 1 point. Double take, he can expect to lose 1.2 points. So it was a correct double by me, I suppose, in this spot. And just a bad take on his end. He has 2 on the roof. It's my turn to roll. I have the 3-point slotted. I have builders. I have flexibility down with my runners. There just aren't disaster rolls for me. Like, I guess 6-6 is the worst roll for me. But short of that, everything else is pretty helpful. All right, so that's a big pass. I've got 38% gammon equity. All right, we approach here, and now I did actually end up rolling 6-6, I believe. Yeah, I rolled 6-6 the previous turn. And he should have instantly recubed in this position. You know, so many builders bearing down on so many valuable points. 6 is available for his anchors. The midpoint's still intact, but, very flexible. I have 2 guys both exposed. There are some killing covers. I guess only 6-4 and 6-6, and that's it. Maybe. I'm so bad at counting these on the fly. That this is definitely a double, or a redouble, I should say. He chose not to redouble, and the best idea was a redouble, and I should be taking, which actually surprises me. I definitely would have passed. I was very thankful that he kept not cubing me, as we can see as we go along here. We'll look at this one. This is how the position evolved. He should have also cubed before this play. Likewise, his next turn, this is the starting position. He should have recubed. The match score, he's down 3-0. He should surely have recubed. Likewise here, he should recube. And here is also a recube. So a lot of patterns developing. His position is just so strong, as we can see in all of these, where he's got multiple shots at all of our pieces. He's got valuable checkers bearing down on valuable points. It's just a lot going right for him. He doesn't have any, even 5-5 is fine for him. 6-6, he can, probably kill you and cover in, get out all at the same time. Especially when you're down 3-0, definitely recube territory. And then we eventually got back down to here. This is also a recube on his end. Because I ended up getting free, but then my position started to crumble, as we can see. So he's got these guys here. I have to, I guess prior to this, I roll a 5-1, which is just a disaster roll for me. I'm trying to get home safely. I'm forced to leave him at least 1 direct shot. So I opt to play this move, which was the correct move. And prior to, after I kill him, play here to safety. And this is the starting position, even before he rolls this 5-1. This is a cube for him. It's just too he's going to kill me often enough. Basically, it's because he's going to kill me more often than I'm going to get home safely. And let's take a look at and his gammon percentage is 21. So plenty of life here for a gammon still, but I think I still have to take, right? Redouble take is mandatory. Very, very, very mandatory take, actually. Passing would be horrible. So, and that would be something that would have crossed my mind if I was in this position. I might have made a horrible pass. But nonetheless, he did not cube it. Although he rolled this 5-1 and ended up winning the game, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. Oh, we have another position. Since he still had the cube in hand here, I have one on the roof. This is, I guess it's just because gammon equity is only 10%, but but he can still lose if I roll 1-6 and then get home safely. So that is also a redouble. And no other cube scenarios. Oh, yeah. One last one. Once it became clear, so it just became clear it wasn't a gammon, that was it. Let's try to speed this up a little bit. This video is probably only going to be the cubes. So let's see. This was on him. So now the score is 3-2 me. In this position, he should be cubing me. I suspect it's because he has this shot here, first of all, to go up big time in the race. He has his 5-point made. I do not have my 5-point made. That's a big distinction. Neither of us has our bar made. So I guess this is probably, yeah. Oh, okay. It is very close between double and no double, and it's a very clear take. And I suppose I probably would have taken, but very close between double and no double. And here it is also very close. So let's not spend too much time going over these. Although it is, I suppose, kind of worth noting. It's Red's turn to roll. I guess because he's so likely to not be leaving so many of these blots out. A lot of very good rolls, particularly sixes, are just great. Not double sixes, but although those would be great too. A lot of just good random sixes. So that would also be a double and a take, although very marginal. And then no more cubes here. Sorry, I hate when I sniff in on these videos because it sounds so much worse on playback. All right, so this scenario is it's once again Vassil and no double. Oh, it's a very clear no double and a very clear take for me. Vassil's playing he's up 29 pips, but he's going to have trouble getting home safely in a lot of timelines. And he does have awkward rolls. I think he went on to roll like this very next roll after doubling, which he did. It's not a double. He rolled a bad roll and gave me a direct shot, which I missed. But so yeah, this is the position, and this is an ambitious double, even though the pip count does look very good. Like that's in this case, you're like up by too many pips to double because it just means you're going to get home so awkwardly. Or hope to get home so awkwardly. Over here now, he had doubled me, and okay, so this one I think is worth evaluating how it went down. He comes out. I rolled a 6-4 and kill, and I don't have a great 6, so I played both of them down, which was actually the right move by a wide margin. And then he rolls the 3 in, but can't hit either of these with the 5, so he's forced to leave me another direct shot, and then. Prior to this, I should be recubing. When he has that, like we'll look at the position right now. Like this, I'm playing the white pieces. This is a huge recube. Oh, it's not a. So he's not going to take. Although it is close, it's a very close between take and pass. But it's very bad to not be redoubling. It's 100% redouble. Like it's minus 156 out of 1,000 points to not redouble. And then. I chose not to redouble though. And then he rolled then I rolled 4-3. Okay, then I rolled 4-3, made this move, killed, double kills, he fans. I then did redouble, and what do you know? It's 4-3 him. So it's redoubling to double match point with this in mind as the position. And the goat took, and I imagine he took because he sees these. I'm likely, like he has a lot of chances to get a shot back, and he has a strong home board if he does. But it is a huge pass here. I should not be redoubling my position. It's way too good. But when he's taking, that gains me an extra point. That's an 860 point mistake out of 1,000. So huge no double, way too good to redouble, and awful take. I think that's it for cubes, and we are out of time. So I'll be back with the rest of it later. All right, peace.